Alright, today I'm going to talk to you about one of the best movies that you've never seen. Hey everybody, I'm Rick, and this is the show where we talk about movies, TV shows, a lot of famous and easy to find titles, but then there's a lot of obscure titles that you may not have heard of before, or they're just guilty pleasures. And today I got kind of both for you. This one, 1981 Sylvester Stallone movie, Nighthawks. This movie had a lot of drama, a little bit of action, and it deals with terrorism. It's a police drama, and it was a different vehicle for Sylvester Stallone, and it was the debut for Rutger Hauer. And I want to talk to you about this movie, and we'll score it, and I'll let you know my feelings on it. Okay, so Nighthawks came out in 1981. It's an American neo-noir action thriller film. It was directed by Bruce Malmuth, and it stars Sylvester Stallone as Detective Sergeant Deke Da Silva, Billy Dee Williams as Detective Sergeant Matthew Fox, Lindsay Wagner as Irene Da Silva, Persis Khambatta as Shaka Holland, Nigel Davenport as Detective Inspector Peter Hartman, and Rutger Hauer as Heimar Wolfgar Reinhardt. This film was distributed by Universal Pictures, and it was released on April 10th, 1981. The film has a running time of 99 minutes, and the film's initial budget was $5 million. Total box office earnings were $19.9 million. Alright, fun fact. This movie was originally planned to be the French Connection Part 3. And they were going to bring Gene Hackman back as Popeye Doyle and possibly team him up with a wisecracking cop. And Richard Pryor was originally eyed for that role. Hackman, however, was reluctant to do the third film, and the idea was scrapped. Universal acquired the rights, and they reworked it into Nighthawks. Now, in preparation for their roles as New York City police officers, Billy Dee Williams and Sylvester Stallone spent several weeks working at night with the New York Street Crimes Unit. Nighthawks was the very first American film for Dutch actor Rutger Hauer. Now, since this film came out at the beginning of the 80s, it was very much ahead of its time as far as dealing with urban terrorism. It was said that at the time people couldn't relate to that, and the studio didn't believe in it. But it was Rutger Hauer's performance that held it all together. He was an excellent villain. Sylvester Stallone insisted on doing his own stunts. The stunts in the film were pretty extraordinary because they were invented along the way. At one point, Stallone was hanging from a cable car, and it was probably one of the most dangerous stunts in the film. Now, before this film's theatrical release, Nighthawks was edited for violence by the Universal Studios and the Motion Picture Association of America. Among the scenes cut was a longer disco shootout, and Wolfgar's death scene was heavily edited. It's been said that Sylvester Stallone also... There were two versions of Nighthawks that were shown to test audiences. One of those emphasized Stallone's character, and the other emphasized Hauer's character. Although the version emphasizing Hauer's character was better received by audiences, Stallone removed some of Hauer's scenes from the film's final version. Stallone had once posted that Nighthawks was a very difficult film to make, namely because no one believed that urban terrorism would ever happen in New York, and thus felt that the story was far-fetched. Nighthawks was an even better film before the studio lost faith in it and cut it to pieces. What was in the missing scenes was extraordinary acting by Rutger Hauer, Lindsay Wagner, and the finale was a bloodfest that rivaled the finale of Taxi Driver. But it was a bloodfest with a purpose. Nighthawks has a 70% approval on Rotten Tomatoes based on 20+ reviews. Fun fact number 2. In July of 2019, it was announced that a remake was in development from Balboa Productions. And by May of 2020, Sylvester Stallone announced that a reboot television series was in development. The project would be a joint venture between Universal Television and Balboa Productions, and it would possibly be released as a Peacock exclusive television series. Okay, so I'm going to tell you, I loved Nighthawks. It was one of those movies that I seen it when it came out, and I was kind of drawn to the story, and I actually got it even though I was younger at the time. And I love the fact that the characters were, getting out of their comfort zones. The actors were getting out of their comfort zones instead of playing characters that they would normally portray. I would really love one day for there to be an extended cut put together for this movie, because from what I've understood, a lot of good footage, especially from Lindsay Wagner, was cut out. Now, since this is just a bare bones DVD, packaging, I'm gonna give it a 2.5. As far as the content, because we don't have that bonus stuff and there wasn't a lot of extra features, I'm also going to give it a 2.5. For the film and for the sound, on Blu-ray it looks incredible. Film still looks good for a film that was shot in 1980. I like the way it looks. The sound, not so much. I understand that they were limited with what they had back then, but when you've got stuff like Star Wars made in '77 with excellent sound, a film made in '80 or '81 should at least sound as good, if not better. Not worse though. So for sound, I am going to go ahead and give it a 2. So altogether for score, I'm going to give Nighthawks a 2.3. Again, I do like this movie. It still holds up well to this day, and it might be hard for people to find, but check it out online. Try to stream it if you can. Remember, it was made in the 80s, but once you get past that, you'll see that it was a pretty good movie and well acted. Alright, so there it is. Nighthawks, starring Sylvester Stallone, Billy D. Williams, and Rutger Hauer. I love my Blu-ray copy. A good picture, decent sound. If you haven't had a chance to pick it up, or like I said, it's an obscure title, it is available for streaming. You can find it on the internet. Be sure and check it out. It's a good little movie. That's all the time I have for today, but please like, share, and subscribe. And as always, stay positive, stay blessed, and I'll see you again.